So I've had many people asking the same question over and over again. Basically, people asking whether the Ghostblade build is better than the Death's Dance build, and also many other questions on what is the best build for Riven at the moment. I'm gonna answer all those questions today, but first I'd like to say that this video is being sponsored by ProGuides. A lot of people have been messaging me that they have been on a losing streak and they always ask, how do I start winning? I always say go to proguides.com, which has the best videos on getting better at League. They have courses with pro players, they have champion tier list and matchup stat tools, and they have 24/7 challenger coach who you can talk to anytime. And they really work at getting you to a higher division. It's got everything you need to get better at League all in one place. I highly recommend it. Check out the link in the description below. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So this video today is going to be all about the Riven builds, basically when you should go for each build and what the best build is and all of that. But before we get into all of those builds, I want to answer the same question that I get every single day. And that question is whether the Ghostblade is better than the Death's Dance build. What I want to clear out is that the Ghostblade build is basically another word of the cheap item build. Because in that item build, you are going to buy the Ghostblade with the Black Reaver, with the Guardian's Angel, and all of that stuff. And all those items that you are going to buy, they are one of the cheapest that you can go for, which means that you can get the items as fast as possible. When you take a look at the Death's Dance build, however, you are going to buy items that are super expensive. It's going to take you a lot of gold in order to get all of the items that you need in order to complete the build. The difference between both of the builds is that the Death's Dance build is much better in overall. Taking a look towards the mid and the late game, the Death's Dance build is going to win for sure. If you are looking to scale very well towards the mid and the late game, I recommend you getting that Death's Dance build because this is definitely the best build to go for in the current patch. However, if you are looking towards ending the game as soon as possible, I recommend you going for the Ghostblade build instead. The Ghostblade itself helps you provide a lot of things, something that the other items don't even have. First of all, the Ghostblade is only worth a total of about 2.9k gold, one of the cheapest items in the game. It also has one of the most amazing build paths to go for, because all you have to go and do is buy a few long swords, upgrade them into the Warhammer and the other thing, and eventually get the Ghostblade, which is super easy to do. You also get a lot of extra damage and a lot of amazing stats, and you have the ability to run away or chase people down. After the completion of the Ghostblade item, the next items that you wanna buy is the Black Reaver with the Guardian's Angel, and this will help you get the items as quick as possible because the Black Reaver and the Guardian's Angel are one of the cheapest items to buy in the game as well. This is what makes the item build so powerful, because all the items that you buy, they are super cheap, and this is why the build is called the cheap build. So to clear things out once more, if you are looking to end the game as fast as possible, then you want to go for the Ghostblade build. If you are looking to scale towards the mid and the late game and have a much better late game overall, then I recommend you going for the Death's Dance build instead. That build is just way better and way stronger if you are going to scale. The next build I want to go over about is the Crit Riven build. The famous Crit Riven build that we have all heard about within the last few patches. Basically where you build the Ascent Reaver and then get the Infinity Edge and then get the Phantom Dancer and another Infinity Edge. This is one of the best builds to go for if you are looking to maximize your damage output in the game. I'm just not a very huge fan of this myself because the Crit Riven build kinda makes your damage very RMG. You really gotta be lucky in the game if you want to get a lot of damage done, because it all depends on getting the crits down as many as possible, and this is RMG, you will never know how many crits you get. I only recommend going for this build if you are actually snowballing in the game. If you have a lot of kills and you've got a lot of gold to spare, then this build is actually really good. But if you are not having a good game, don't go for for this build. There's many others that are way better. The next build that we are going over about is the Riven against AP build. So this build is very similar to the Ghostblade build, except the difference is that you are not going to buy the Ghostblade, you are going to buy and rush the Hexdrinker as fast as possible. As soon as you get the Hexdrinker, you want to complete it also as fast as possible. Getting the Hexdrinker as quick as possible in the game is definitely gonna help you out against very heavy AP matchups. Riven is also very weak against heavy AP matchups, so you definitely wanna get those items if you are playing against them. Against full AD teams, you wanna get the Ghostblade as fast as possible, obviously because the item is very cheap to buy. Then you wanna go for the Ninja Tubbies, get the Black Reaver also as quick as possible, and then get the Guardian's Angel. Buying the cheap items in the game allows you to get the Ninja Tubbies with the Guardian's Angel faster in the game, which then allows you to be a lot more tanky against the full AD teams. If you find yourself in a game where you play against a team with very heavy CC, I always recommend you to get the Mercs boots because that's gonna help you obviously get rid of some of the CC. The next build that we are going over about is the Riven against full tanks. So we've all been once in this game where we are playing Riven and the enemy team literally took 3 tanks and there's literally nothing that we can do. But what if I told you there's actually something that you can do, and that's to build the right items? So for the first item, you want to get the Death Stance. The Death Stance is going to help you a lot, especially around the early game when they still don't have that much armor. After getting the Death Stance, you want to get the Black Reaver. The Black Reaver is going to help you a lot getting that damage done onto the tanks. For the boots, I recommend you going for the Mercs because most of the time, most of the tanks, they are going to have a lot of stunts and CC, and you definitely want to get rid of all those stunts in order to do something. So Mercs is the best choice to go for. And then the next item is the Last Whisper. This is kinda a forgotten item in the game. Not many people build this item anymore, but this item is still very effective, especially if you are playing against 3 tanks in the game. For the next item, it kinda depends in the situation of the game. If you are only split pushing against a tank, then I recommend you taking that Hydra as quick as possible. But if you are kinda team fighting a lot in your game, I recommend you getting the Guardian's Angel instead. Now with all of the builds being done for, let's go over about the last thing, which is the starter items. As for the starter items, we've got 4 choices and they are all really important and they all have their own different purpose. As for the first one, we've got the Dorn Shield with the 1 potion. This is by far the best one to go for if you are playing Riven against anything that is long ranged, does a lot of damage and pokes a lot. The next one we've got is the Ghostblade with the 1 potion. This is by far one of the best ones to go for if you are looking to have a more aggressive level 1 and 2. The Ghostblade also allows you to be a little bit more tanky towards the early game, so you don't actually get one shot by some of the champions anymore. You can also buy a second Ghostblade if one is simply not enough. The next starter item we have is the longsword with the 3 potions. This one is by far the most used one in the Riven community, but also by far the most risky one. While it does actually have 3 potions, which helps you a lot getting that sustain in and getting that aggression in the early game, the longsword does actually make you a lot less tanky in the laning phase, especially around the early few levels when damage matters a lot. You want to play with the longsword with the 3 potions if you are looking to play very aggressive in the early game. While it does make you a little bit weaker in terms of tankiness, it does have a lot of potions which will help you getting that early aggression in. As for the last starter item, we've got the longsword with the revealable potion. This is by far one of the most interesting ones because you don't actually ever see somebody play with this. But basically the idea here is to avoid all fights at all costs in the early game And as soon as you make your first bag, you want to make sure you always get that warhammer ready, and that's when you get your advantage in. As soon as you make your way back to the base, you will get all of your potions back, and you don't actually have to buy every available potion anymore, which means that you have already saved up a lot of gold in order to get your items a lot faster. This starter item is definitely gonna make you a lot weaker in the early game, but it will definitely pay off for sure. Anyway, this was it for the build guide, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I could help you guys out there who don't know how to build Riven anymore, and hopefully I could help out all of those people who had the same question about the Ghostblade build and the Death Stance build. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you are looking for a high elo Riven mainstream, make sure you check out my stream, guys. I'm streaming a lot. And if you are looking for a nice and friendly Discord community, make sure you guys join it. And I guess I catch you guys up in the next video and also the next stream, man. Peace.